Even though you've been raised as a human being, you are not one of them.
And there's one thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
A good reporter doesn't get great stories, Jimmy.
A good reporter
Makes them great.
Lois Lane, say hello to Clark Kent.
Well,
Any more at home like you?
not really, no.
Hey guys, Critical Redemption here, aka Cash, with another movie review franchise, starting with The Man of Steel. All you guys know about now that I'm reviewing the Superman movies from the starting and the first classic. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the movie Superman. So I'm going to get into the whole plot of the movie and talk about the ins and outsides of this movie. So I hope you guys enjoy my review, and let's get into it, guys. Superman opens up like Star Wars and then goes down to Earth and relaxes you. And it's the simple earthbound quality of the film that makes this comic book fantasy soar. And what I mean by that is the character of Superman, as derived from the early superhero comic tradition, is polite, patriotic, and law-abiding. He doesn't destroy villains as they would like to destroy him. Very nice guy. He turns them over to the police so they can get a fair trial. And note, when he does this, he is careful to examine the police officer's nameplate to be able to address him properly. Like, hey, Mr. Wilson, Officer Wilson, here is this bad guy. Terrible example, but that's how he would do it. His strengths being be able to do airborne and are modest ones and compared to the sapping qualities of later futuristic heroes. His everyday disguise, that of a newspaper reporter, aka Clark Kent, is full of human weaknesses and doubts. He's played by Christopher Reeves, but in both manifestations weak, strong, and he is mild-mannered. What I mean by that is, guys, he's a little crazy on the crazy side. Hey Lois, what are you doing? By sticking with this characterization, avoiding the obvious temptations to sneer as the Neviate, like, camp it up, the makers of the $40 million film of Superman have been able to convey Superman's, in my opinion, probably I would say considerable charm. There is wit too. In his first crisis, Clark Kent searches frantically for the old style of telephone booth in which he has always changed to his Superman clothes to find only the new style of open booth, but it's wit that goes with the story, not against it. So another thing I also like to say is that this could have been just another expensive space age good guys, bad guys, epic and evident from the film's opening scene on the advanced planet of Krypton, Superman's birthplace. Comic books and space films share the concept that the future will look like Balthus gone berserk. All straight lines, no color. This one is particularly like an oversized institutional bathroom. You're probably wondering, what does he mean by that? The people, for all that they're all acted by high-priced talent, also indicate a vapid future. Marlon Brando, aka The Godfather, with the top billing of the film, plays Superman's father as if he were a combination of God and Zeus, or Rex. Righteous, pompous, and humorless, all dressed in white robes and issuing pronouncements instead of speaking lines. Everyone on Krypton, whose populace also includes Terrence Stamp, Susanna York, and Maria Shield, if I'm pronouncing that right, seems to be drawn from a narrow-minded, clerical view of angels and devils. Earth, however, is delightful, teeming with interesting types. When Super Baby first lands in Midland America, a golden blue world of wheat and sky, along comes Pa and Ma Kent, Glenn Ford, and Fulis Stackster, if I'm pronouncing that right. I always get person's name wrong. In a Depression-era pickup truck. And for a moment, it looks like another movie comment on movies that, of which often passes for movie humor these days, but no, guys. This is charmingly straight world of high schoolers who dreamed up a hero who could be like Samson and Hercules, only more so. There's only a wholesome of wistfulness to the disguised super teenager and his kindly parents. Christopher Reeve goes on to develop the character of Clark Kent and Superman in different ways, and what I mean by that is the share and authentic sweetness. Both are earnest, good, and loving. To do this is a way that charming rather than corny is no simple feat. Yes, Superman draws a laugh when he says his mission is to fight for truth and justice in the American way, but it's a fond laugh because he's not allowed the slightest possibility of hypocrisy to creep into the characterization. And what I mean by that, another thing I want to say is equally charming are the slightly more sophisticated roles of Lois Lane, the reporter Kent Superman loves, and Lex Luthor. Good old Lex Luthor, guys, and his arch enemy Margot. Kidder's Lewis is a dashing professional, a stark crime reporter who can't spell massacre and thinks rapist has 2 P's in it, and whose love for Superman doesn't prevent her from turning in his very whisper into front page copy. Gene Hackman's Luthor is a low-keyed villain with humor and style, and he plays them brilliantly, guys. Some sympathy for having to entrust his clever schemes to lesser crime brains. Another thing I also want to say is Luthor's lair is the basement of Grand Central Station. You're probably all wondering, what? Well, it's the truth. Furnished in comfy way with silk shaded lamps, heavy rugs, and wall of books, among which, in my opinion, the arches and models of the railway terminal appear. It is, Luthor explains to his disgruntled girlfriend, a Park Avenue address. That kind of special effect is much more impressive than the flying credits or crumbling crystal, of which the special effects team, headed by designer John Barry, repeating his Star Wars and repeat quote-unquote Star Wars idea, is so proud. Fantasy is more fun when you see how it spun off from reality, which is why flying scenes in Superman work, unlike the space scenes, which look as if they could have been done from models in somebody's tub or a boat. The sequences in which Superman flies through the air are exhilarating because you can see the city below, and it's not another case of the superness in Superman being its relationship to the ordinary man in him. Another thing I also want to say is that the love scenes between Lois and Clark Kent, aka Superman, are brilliant. The John Williams theme is amazing. I just love the John Williams theme when he's just about to go into the phone booth and turn into Superman and fly away, guys. This is such an epic moment in superhero film history. Besides the Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman in '89, this is another one of my favorite superhero movies, believe it or not. I'm not a huge Superman fan, but this movie tops it off. Christopher Reeve's performance is phenomenal. And what I mean by that is amazing. He's just a great Clark Kent. He plays him so well, and he plays a great Superman. I mean, wow. I'm just breathless by his performance. And also, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, he does a good job playing Lex Luthor. You know, he's very evil and very, you know, always tries to pull off little, like, jokes in here and there. Then his wigs he wears are crazy. Then his girlfriend's nuts too. And then she has the hots for Superman when he saves her. But overall, this film was phenomenal. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. I love the cheesy campiness of the flying, you know, it just works in this film. It's like the first love scene between Clark Kent, Lois Lane all together, and that's what started the love scenes in future superhero films. So I'd give this movie out of 5 stars, a rating of, let's see here, not excellent, not amazing, just a phenomenal film. 5 out of 5, guys. This is my final verdict. I hope you guys enjoyed my first review of the Superman the movie, and I'll continue with Superman 2, 3, 4, and Superman Returns, as well as some new updates on Man of Steel. So this has been Cash with another movie review, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. 5 out of 5.